Welcome to a game between Pootis. Here starting with a engineer commander and a rover assembly. So he's going to rovers or rovers. And here's the Ampbot factory and Coolcat. Coolcat requested this replay, and he wondered how can you fight cloaky bots. And my suggestion, if you're going Ampbot, you generally want to be a bit defensive because you have slower units. Then it's up to you if you want to depend on ducks or archers more. But generally I would recommend starting over here, because if you start over here you can make the factory and build those two mexes and walk forward and take those two mexes. And since you are going for Ampbots, you're a bit slower than your opponent, and you probably want to get up in your face with your opponent, because most of the Ampbot units are slower than their units. Like if you look at them, only Archer and Limpet and Ducks are decently fast. All other units are slow. And if you have an engineer commander with a bulkhead, yeah, you're gonna be able to build bulkheads straight up in their face, and that forces the enemy. If you're making bulkheads, the enemy can't make defense, they can't make fencers. While if you start more further back or in the corner like this position, you won't get to the middle and you can't really control these mexes as well, and your bulkheads won't be as effective at deterring enemy expansion into the middle of the map or deterring fencers. But it looks, I don't think Pootis is gonna build any fencers this game, so you might be safe from that. Meanwhile, like the oh, that's a pretty nice micro there. Oh, you lost one duck there then. But yeah, ducks against Scorchers, it's a bit like if one Scorcher can get upon one duck, it can run it down, but it can't run down two ducks. So yeah, generally want to have at least two ducks in close proximity if the enemy is coming. And you're getting a radar here, so that's nice. And you also see the incoming units here, and you build a Lotus turret there, so that's nice. Generally on this map I prefer to try to dominate the middle, then you forces the enemy to spread out their units on the side. So if you're in here in the middle, they have to either choose to go like down here or down here, and that makes it easier for your slower units to intercept them and build defenses in time. And you also get, if you get radar covered, you want to get radar coverage on this side so you know if there's enemy units coming there. Yeah, so yeah, you have some idle time here with the conch, not a big deal. Yeah, you're staying pretty even on economy, expanding well, and you're being a bit defensive, but you're also trying to be offensive here. Yeah, so being offensive with ducks can be, you can try to abuse these cliffs here, but you get called out of position, and yeah, since the enemy has like, this is to be expected, like ducks will struggle a bit. Like you should be expecting the enemy to have easily defend this position. It's hard to go offensive with ducks since they're slower than Scorchers, and Scorchers and Dart can easily overrun your ducks. So it's hard to get good rating in if you just ducks, so to speak. They're quite slow compared to Scorchers and Darts, with only like 93 speed versus 111 and yeah, 152. So yeah. Even darts, if they go, they can sort of dodge. If they turn around, they can dodge the missile, or sometimes even if they go straight against ducks, they might dodge the missile. So yeah, they can be pretty annoying. Pootis is being a bit sneaky here. He's gonna get one mex for his trouble, so yeah, not a big deal. You're starting to make archers, and archers is a slower combination, which works pretty well against Scorchers on darts, really. Meanwhile, ducks, yeah, they can't really go toe-to-toe with the commander here. Oh, and it looks like Pootis is having a Scorcher as a blueprint. Here you're kind of having a bad position. You want all of your ducks to be able to fire at the same time. Now it's only a few of them to fire at the same time, so only a few of them fire at the same time. If you re-micro just a tiny bit, you would have like, you just can make the units realign a bit so they're in a line, so you deal more damage. Otherwise you kind of get run down one by one. So that's small. That's a small thing you can do with ducks. Like, you try to make sure that you are the ducks aren't too spread out when they're getting run down by the Scorcher. And this is, thanks to this archer, you're going to be safe here. But otherwise this commander would have been dead. So yeah, it's always a thing you have to be worried about. Like 3-4 Scorchers can deal with the commander if it's just on its own. But yeah, you had an archer and a Lotus Turret there, so you were fine really. No big issues there. That was kind of a big loss for Pootis, and that's gonna put you ahead in the attrition value. Meanwhile, you're expanding well, you're getting you're staying pretty even on metal, you're a bit ahead in metal use, so yeah, you're basically a little bit ahead in economy. And Pootis is gonna probably stay mostly on Scorchers and then Ravagers and some Levelers. Here you get a Khan out of position. You should have seen this coming and been able to retreat this, but maybe your archers can get there in time to save it. Yeah, they do. And you're trying here to raid with archers, and they're pretty good. They can be hard to deal with. They're not that easy to deal with. So you're getting some value with archers. It can actually be easier to raid with archers, but they're quite a bit slower, so. And you should have seen this coming, like you saw the enemy here on the radar here. You should rebuild radar. You really want to get a radar up like here, so you get radar coverage on the middle of the map. Meanwhile, you're getting some decent raiding up here, so that's nice. Are you going to be able to kill these cons? Killing these cons should have been high priority there. Instead, you're going for the mexes. You could kill that Lotus Turret and run by. But you still killed some mexes and slowed down this eco. And your ducks were a bit late to be in this position, but now they're just standing still while you lost your archers up there. So yeah, if your ducks are firing at max range, they're gonna win against the Scorchers pretty easily, if your numbers are like that. And here comes the ducks, and yeah, in this case you probably also want to kill the mechs and get back. You want to try to get some distance. You could try to use fight command here to let the units try to dodge automatically, because archers and ducks will basically, I think you should put these units on fire fight move here, because if Ravagers meanwhile are losing some ducks there, that's a bit sad. Meanwhile, if you're not having these units on fight move, they're gonna like getting they're not gonna try to dodge on their own, and they get run down pretty easily by Ravagers. So Ravagers can be a pretty hard unit to deal with for the Ampod factory. You probably want to mix in some limpets to give your archers some more time and prevent them from getting a run. And that's the thing, you probably want to use fight move a lot more if you're fighting Ravagers, then you're gonna be able to dodge it quite a bit. What you want to be careful about is archers just trying to chase the... You're dodging manually. That's also a thing you can do with archers against Ravagers. And yeah, you were caught a bit of the position, and now he's back into attrition value. And yet again, you're kind of caught out of position. This duck was out of position, even though you have full radar coverage here. So yeah, you're just gonna be able to trade those down. Yeah, but if you're trying to chase it down, like you can see, if you use attack move on its own, it's gonna be able to scorch. And you walk too far forward this commander, that's not a good idea. You should have at least a limpet here or an archer here to protect the commander and help like run by, so that's a big mistake. You lost losing the commander there. Totally unnecessary, you could have stayed back. I'm not sure why you went this far forward, the commander. It's kind of bad. And meanwhile, you can see here that the archers are skirmishing decently well against the Ravagers, staying decent range and dodging quite a lot of shots, but when they're trying to chase, they're gonna suffer a bit more and they're gonna struggle to run them down. So it can be a bit tricky to get their micro right against Ravagers, because they can disengage quite easily at their own leisure, and then it's hard to like chase them down. Yeah, you shouldn't be chasing Ravagers most of the time, because they're gonna get hit and they're not gonna be able to dodge as well. So yeah, losing that commander was a big mistake, because they were basically even up until that point, then you lost your commander, which is like, you shouldn't go this far forward if you don't have proper support for your commander. That's a big mistake. Now you're starting to mix in limpets with your archers. That's a good idea. It prevents your archers from getting overrun and slowed down by limpets, so that's a decent choice. Yeah. When should you go for other units? Like archers they don't fight levels, and Ravagers too well. You probably want boys for that. Scallops are really slow. A few could be nice, but yeah, it wouldn't depend on it too much. yeah, you get some late limpets off there, but you're losing the air and not getting a lot of value down there. So now you're losing way more nutrition because your archer's not training that well. And you're trying to dodge here. And you can see if you're manually dodging, you can do pretty well against Ravagers, but it takes quite a bit of micro there. Stardust is pretty good against, if you can just avoid enemies using too many fencers, Stardust is actually pretty good against Ravagers and Levelers. So yeah, you can see here. Yeah, you're just gonna be able to, this Ravaged Stardust is just gonna be able to kill all of these units. But yeah, you're trying to raid, walking straight into Ravagers is a recipe for disaster. If you just walk straight, the Ravagers are going to be really accurate hitting them, and they can even start kiting the archers, so you really got to be careful with how you use your archers. This is not how you use archers. I would recommend using fight command more. The risk is that the enemy is going to be able to run away. If they're like skirmishing, they can just, the Ravagers can just turn and run and you don't get actual kills. But if the limpets around, you can pay attention and start slow them down, and then when enemies trying to retreat with their low health, Ravager can go in a bit. Yeah, it's about, yeah, like if you are sending them forward with move commands, yeah, that's not good. So yeah. Basically, if you don't micro them constantly, you should leave them on fight move. If you micro them, you can set some move commands, try to dodge manually or run them down. Otherwise, I would recommend always using fight command against Ravagers with your archers. Yeah. Here you're just running them into them, like one was ahead and the other ones are behind, and then they get run down. At this point, this is too many, maybe. So yeah. So yeah, when was the point that you should probably have switched to boys? Yeah, it's like, that is a difficult decision for, like, if you can't engage the enemy in the middle, like, if you get a pork line with a few bulkheads and archers, that's fine. But if you're getting pushback, when should you go for a slower unit composition like boys? Because that's really risky and you can really easily get outmaneuver with the boys. They're too slow to really keep up with the Ravagers, so then it's tricky. Yeah. Yeah, but when archers are this close to Ravagers, they're gonna suffer quite a bit and take a lot of damage from the Ravagers, so yeah. If you have a limpet, that helps, yeah. So yeah, if you look here at the total value, you were even until you lost your commander. And the metal produce, what was that point? It was about that point. Yeah, that was about, you were even in metal use, you were even ahead a bit in metal use until you lost your commander. And then it started to go bad for you. So yeah. Yeah, don't walk your commander that far along forward. And yeah, should you have made bulkhead in that matchup? Probably not. Was Archer fine? Yeah, in junction with your defense, and if you had used fight command more, I think it will work. Then the question is, do you want to go for a slower composition, like bulkheads? When you have the factor all over here instead of here, it means you have a really long walking time, walking all bulkheads all the way up here. And by the time they get up to the front line, the enemy might have Ravagers that goes around your flank, but at least you're forcing them to go around your flank, and you can rack with archers and limpets and make defense in time. So if you instead start here, you have a clear division of the map, and you should be able to control this area of the map, and then you can easily reinforce like this position. You should be easily spot any incoming units with the radar central position. So I would really recommend starting in the middle and try to divide and conquer the map like this, because yeah, if you go and take the middle like this, the enemy can't really contest it with Ruber, with fencers. You can just spam bulkhead with your engineer commander against that. If you try, you can try to push, if you walk over here, I usually walk over here, you can contest this position really well with bulkheads, and you're gonna force the enemy away from this position, and you can try to raid this position with archers and ducks. And yeah, you should be really considerate when you try to go in with your archers, with your ducks, because ducks are gonna get run down really easily by daggers, I mean darts and scorchers. If you go for archer raiding, that's actually a decent choice, because if you're trying to abuse the hills, you can try to run up the hills when the enemy is like, you can try to abuse the hills and try to go up here, because you can see that the rover can't really go in here, so you could try to abuse the hills and go up here and go down here. You can get bunched up a bit and lose a few archers, so it's a bit risky, but going into this position is annoying for rovers because they can't contest that. You can have a duck here and it can sneak out. It can go up to the top of the mountain, check if there's anything nearby. It can roam down, kill a mech. It forces the enemy to dedicate a few more resources there. So instead of you had the 4 ducks, you sent them over here. The forced 4 ducks to raid. Yeah, the enemy can see there are no mechs here. The enemy commander probably has radar coverage from here. So if you instead send them over here, or like check this position, you can try to go up here. Yeah, you have a lot more options. Going here, and then you're getting pushed up above the cliff. Even though you can go up this cliff, it's really slow to go up this cliff, so if the enemy units come here, they're gonna catch you against the wall, and the scorcher are gonna get in close in no time, and that's bad for you. So yeah, there are also some considerations you can think about. Yeah, but you did decently well till you lost your commander, basically. So those are my tips for you. Good luck and have fun.